Okay, that'll work.
Cool. Okay, cool. I didn't see you come in with water. Okay, hi guys. Welcome to Online Branding. Sorry we're starting a little late. I wanted to make sure the live stream is set up since it's raining. I know a lot of people will be coming in late. So I just wanted to start off with a brief intro. My name's Naomi Butler. I'm the marketing coordinator and luxury concierge here. And so because of technology, communication has changed more in the past 10 years than it has in the past 100 years. So my job here is to teach you how to engage people who have become professionals at ignoring sales messages. A little bit about me and my background. Using the systems that I've put in this class, I have effectively doubled the social media following of Keller Williams Memorial across all platforms in the past 6 months. So we're going to start with the very basics. So if you have no knowledge of social media, we're going to start with the very, very basics. And then at the end, we're going to get more advanced into some paid advertisement targeting and some more advanced features of social media, okay? Let's get started. So this is an overview of the class. We're going to start with some definitions so we can make sure that we're all speaking the same language throughout the class when I'm using terms like post or hashtag or news feed, that we're all on the same page in terms of what that means. Then we'll go over a brief overview of Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, what those platforms offer you and how you can use them at a high level. We will not be going over Twitter in this class because it's not one of those top-rated platforms for actually lead generating for real estate agents. You can definitely use Twitter and you can connect it to your Pic Social account. I just wouldn't recommend that you focus on it in terms of building your business. And then we will go over the 7 steps to an effective social media strategy. This will be the bulk of the class and we'll walk through each step pretty in depth there. And then lastly, we'll go over some of the do's and don'ts, and I'll take your questions. So let's start with definitions. Social media, we're starting at the very beginning, are websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. There are actually millions of social media networks out there, but only a few that you can really use effectively to run your business. Hashtag. A hashtag is a clickable keyword or topic such as content marketing, blog posts, or hashtag Chicago. They can increase the visibility of your social media posts. And when someone clicks on a hashtag in your post, they'll see all the posts that have used that hashtag. Really great way to make your content more visible is using hashtags that are relevant to whatever you're posting. And you can use unique hashtags like we did for the 30th anniversary where we had hashtag KW Memorial 30. Content. Content is anything someone posts or shares with others. It can be photos, it can be articles, it can be plain text, it can be video, and so on and so forth. Follower. A follower represents a user who chooses to see all of another user's content in their content feed. So that's pretty much the same across all platforms. Facebook calls it friends, but you can have a friend that isn't necessarily your follower. So a great way to look at it broadly is follower, someone who is engaging with your content, who has opted into seeing everything that you share. Story. A story is unique compared to normal status updates. So stories are not around forever. They're 24 hours after you post a story, the story deletes itself unless you add it to what's called a story archive. LinkedIn does not have stories, but we'll talk about them when we talk about Facebook and Instagram. This is an effective strategy a lot of brands are using to not overflood their followers' news feeds, but rather just have some things that they can share about, a day in the life of a real estate agent, so on and so forth. And then feed/news feed. If I mention feed/news feed in this class, I'm mentioning a feed of social media is a generic term for a stream of content you see from other users. On most social networks, the feed functions as the home page and the most common way to see people's posts and engage with them. So the feed is what you are seeing as the person looking at social media. So Facebook is the largest social media network. It has 1.11 billion worldwide users, which is a huge, huge portion of the world. The news feed for Facebook, one thing to really keep in mind is that it's not chronological. So it doesn't go, okay, I post something at 11 p.m. and you post something at 12 p.m., 12 a.m., and so on and so forth, and it stacks on top of each other. Actually, their algorithm is written based on how popular your content is. So if you post something that's really not popular, it goes to the bottom of the news feed, and so it's less likely to be seen. Then there is a page versus a profile, and there's a lot of debate on whether you should have just a personal page or just use your business profile or have both. I would recommend you have both for two reasons. One, you're more effective with your advertising, so you can use the Command Lead Accelerator feature. You can use scheduling posts when you have a business page. You're also able to use Pic Social, which is something we offer to our agents for free in the Market Center at a higher level than you would be if you just had that personal profile. So if you have a Facebook... Yes. And so having a profile, which I would guess everyone in this room is probably part of that 1.11 billion people on Facebook, you should go ahead and create a business page. It's very simple, and you can find videos on the internet that will give you a step-by-step on how to fill out that page. One thing you want to keep in mind when you do create that Facebook business page is you want to have your IABS pinned to the top as a post, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. Also, your business page should be your go-to for information about your business. So this will help with your search engine optimization or SEO. If you have a business page on Facebook and someone Googles you, you appear higher in the Google search results, and they're able to click and see your information. Very recently, Google integrated with Facebook to where if somebody Googles your business, they're able to see your Facebook events in that business homepage. So if you Googled KW Memorial, you're able to see all the classes that we have on that business page for Google, which is a really, really cool integration. So let me show you really quickly Gabby's Facebook. She's done a good job of pinning her IABS to the top of her page. So as you can see here, the first post you see is her track compliance links. You can do that pretty simply by just pinning the post in the options when you post that on your Facebook business page. That just makes sure that you are compliant as well. So I want to mention that. Okay. Instagram. So Instagram is actually owned by Facebook, and it is a digital platform that you can only use on a mobile device. You can access Instagram on your desktop, but you're not really able to post, look at your analytics, run ads, or anything like that. So it has 800 million worldwide users, which is still a pretty big chunk of the population, and a lot of those users are concentrated in the United States. Brands use this platform on a high level. An interesting statistic about Instagram is that 70% of the hashtags on Instagram are branded hashtags. So that gives you a general idea of how much brands are using this. Oftentimes it gets a rap of being like the younger generation's Facebook, but it's actually pretty heavily branded, and they have a lot of people actually purchasing things through the platform. It's a highly visual platform, so you can't upload plain text on Instagram. You have to have a photo or video, and if you're just uploading something into the news feed, the video has to be less than a minute. If you want to upload a video that's longer than a minute, there's another app that's called IGTV. I wouldn't really worry about that for this class, but keep that in mind. And then again, timelines aren't chronological. They use a similar algorithm to Facebook, where popular items are first in the timeline. And then LinkedIn. I have been researching a lot about LinkedIn, and it is the #1 platform for lead generation. I'll tell you a little bit more about that and how you can use that at a high level. A lot of that is because of the advertising paid features on LinkedIn. You're able to actually send messages to a targeted audience of people that just appear in their inbox. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. It has 562 million users. And the focus of LinkedIn is to build networks and connections. So you're able to tap into your current network, usually professional network, and then grow your brand using word of mouth. So if you're able to connect with people, they're able to refer you, this will be a really great source for that. And then lastly, the LinkedIn platform is chronological, and it's a little bit slower moving since people spend a little bit more time curating or creating their content here because it is a professional platform. It moves slower. People aren't posting very quickly on it. They're taking a little bit more time to consider what they're putting out. So let's talk about the 7 steps to an effective strategy. #1 is establish your goals. #2 is to know your audience. 3 is to engage with your audience, and we're going to talk about in this class the best times to post your best content. 4 is creating content and scheduling posts. 5 is using paid ads in your strategy. 6, becoming an advocate for your business. And 7, of course, tracking and analyzing your success. So let's talk about establishing some goals when it comes to social media. So your social media goals should act as a roadmap for everything you post. This should be something that you have in mind every time you're creating content for social media. So let's look at some of the things that most social marketers are using as their biggest goals right now. I would imagine that generate sales and leads is going to be a big one for a lot of people in the room. #1 right now is increasing brand awareness. So a lot of brands are just trying to make people aware of their business. And that can be a great strategy because more often than not, when someone's choosing a realtor, they're choosing a person who's top of mind for them. So if you're top of mind and your brand is very prevalent on their news feed, they're more likely to think of you when they're thinking about purchasing a home or selling their current home. Increasing community engagement is also a good one. Trying to get more people involved in your community. Maybe you're doing a lot of client appreciation events and things like that. That can go hand in hand with that strategy. Increasing your web traffic. We all got new great websites through command, and so that might be a focus of your strategy. But I would probably say generating sales and leads for most of you is #1. So one thing you need to do when you're establishing your goal is to understand what the industry conversation is on social media. And this is what people in the marketing industry call a listening analysis or a listening report. So it's really easy to create a listening report. Take some time today in the afternoon to search some different industry leaders or agents in the office and find out what kind of conversations they're having on social media. How are they engaging their audiences? What type of articles are they posting? And what kind of content can you start to gather? This is a really good way to be a part of the conversation without just starting your own new conversation. And it's also good to just find out what your competitors' sort of value propositions are so that you can start to highlight the parts of your value proposition that are most relevant. Does anyone have any questions about goal setting when it comes to social media? Yes, sir. Yeah, so Alex McCauley is great on Facebook if you want to look her up. Also, Joe Diasana is really doing some awesome things on Facebook, posting quite frequently. Jim Shelton is actually getting more frequently into it, posting more things. And then on Instagram, I would recommend Lily Jang. Go check her Instagram out. And Kristen Cab. Pardon? Yeah, Lily Jang. And Kristen Cab. They do a lot more targeted towards the millennial market, but they have some creative strategies on putting out market stats, They also have some creative strategies on how they look at developments happening in the areas they work in, and they become the experts on those developments and talk to people about how this is going to change the neighborhood, this new strip mall that's coming into the area. So they do a really good job. If you want to look at some Chris and Cab, that's what they go by. It's just Chris, how you'd spell it, C-H-R-I-S, and Cab, C-A-B. There's some really good ones. And Jen Tran also does a great job on Instagram as well. Good leaders. Thank you, Michael, for that question. Any more questions on setting your goals? Okay, so the next step here is going to be know your audience. So a lot of times I get, especially in my social media small groups, why should I establish a specific audience? Don't I want to reach everyone? And the answer to that is yes. However, identifying a target audience is a crucial part of establishing an effective strategy. And here are the reasons why. You're able to identify individuals who share similar needs or characteristics that your brand can serve. So while you may be able to reach everyone with your message, being more specific and targeted with your message actually helps you reach your goals and identify the type of people that you are most effective working with. You can establish more effective and efficient goals. So you can be more effective with your time, more efficient with your goals when you establish a group of people that you're targeting with your social media marketing. And 3, this is one of my favorite marketing isms, just because you're in a bigger pond doesn't mean you're going to catch a bigger fish. So here's some pro tips when it comes to target audience, because I think one reason why we get that question as marketing people is, okay, but don't I want to reach everyone? Yes, you do. And you don't necessarily have to take your target audience and set it in stone. Like, I'm only going to work with millennial first-time home buyers, and everyone else I'm just going to refer out. It's not what I'm saying here. So your demographics aren't set in stone, and they might change based on these factors. So season. For example, millennials make up more of the serious buyers during the holidays. So it may be good to establish a more aggressive Instagram strategy towards the end of the year. That's an example of how it might change. You could put any demographic group in there and play with that depending on the season of time and how their buying habits affect that. Listings. So depending on the kind of listings you have, you're going to want to market them to different groups. For example, more than likely you're not going to advertise a $1 million home to someone who's fresh out of college at their first job. So you can be more targeted with your specific listings that you may have and which audience you're trying to target it to social media, if you're doing a paid ad, or just based on the kind of information you're putting out. Your goals. So depending on your brand's goals, certain groups may not be your focus. For example, if you're mostly focused on commercial leases, you won't spend all your energy showing off residential homes for rent in your area. These are pretty much no-brainers, but you just adapt to these things as you see fit. So let's talk about some demographic trends and stuff and just the type of content they like to see. So if you're marketing towards baby boomers, I'll use mostly generational cohorts during my examples because it's really easy to transfer someone's age and life stage with how they're actually using social media and their buying habits when they're coming to a home. So for example, baby boomers like to see longer, more informative content. So if you're doing a video that's targeted towards a baby boomer about, for example, renovation lending, you're going to want to be informative, you're going to want to dig deep, you're going to want to know your facts, and it's probably going to be 3 to 5 minutes. If you're doing a video towards a millennial about renovation lending, same topic, you're going to probably want to give them 5 quick tips. You're not going to dig deep, you're not going to give them a lot of details, and your video is going to be 1 to 3 minutes. So those are some things to keep in mind when you're going towards those. For example, Generation X is going to be more skeptical of advertising messages. So you don't want to come across to them as an advertiser, you probably want to come across as more of a friend, someone who's just trying to engage with them and build a relationship. Are there questions about target audience, identifying that? Okay, now the fun stuff. So let's look at these demographics. I put this on here because I thought it was interesting, especially for a lot of people getting more interested in the international market as Houston's international market grows. 14% of Facebook users are in India, and only 10%, so we're second in terms of Facebook usage. And it was created here. So that's something to keep in mind, that Facebook can be an effective way to do that international marketing as well. And so here on Facebook, more women than men use Facebook. You'll see that pretty much consistently across most platforms. With age here, you'll see that it's pretty broad across the board. You can see people who are like 13 to 17 aren't really using Facebook, which isn't much of a surprise. But this 18 to 49 audience, really big users of Facebook. 65 plus is still at 41% of them are using Facebook. So that's pretty interesting. And then based on location, so this can be a great stat for real estate. 75% of people on Facebook live in this urban area, 67% suburban, and 58% rural. Lastly, here you'll notice that there's a little tiny bit of a spike in this moderate income range, and then the higher income folks, there's another spike over here. It's pretty much the same across the board because, like we talked about, most people are on Facebook. And then lastly, you can see some education stats here. Again, pretty much the same across the board, but you can see that people with some college or a college education plus are more likely to be on Facebook. Instagram. You'll see here it's a little bit more stacked with this younger generation here, which is why I suggested it for that end of the year marketing strategy. If you're trying to capture those millennial buyers that are more serious about buying during the holidays, you're going to want to use Instagram, obviously. Again, women are more likely to be on Instagram than men, and you can see that urban communities are much more likely. So the city folk are much more likely to be on Instagram. And then again, you can see the same trend with Facebook. You've got this moderate income bracket here, and then the higher income folks are matched when it comes to usage on Instagram. And then again, education level, for some reason, more educated people are on social media more often, which is kind of surprising to me. And then LinkedIn, which is becoming one of my favorite platforms, especially for real estate lead generation, because on this one, women and men are using it at the same exact level. But as you see here, when it comes to income, you can see a spike. It kind of leads up. So the lower income, and then you're going up, and then the higher income are the most users. Why is that? It's a professional networking site. So you have to be pretty active in your career and your job in order to be using LinkedIn. And again, you can see 50% of people with a college plus degree are going to be using LinkedIn. But here you see 9% of people with a high school degree or less are using LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, by and large, we have people who make more money and have more education, which is why it's going to be a great lead source for you guys as you're starting to engage with people who might be interested in buying or selling a home. All right, so we're going to talk about engaging your audience. I really like the dog picture here. That's the only reason I put it. Okay, so let's talk about how you're engaging with your clients. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go back to the dog picture. I'm heartbroken, obviously. Any questions about those demographics? Okay, that's good. I'm answering all your questions before you have them. All right, so how are you engaging with your clients on social media? That's the hardest part, is figuring out what to post and what to say. A few quick tips is you want to stay in tune with your posts. So if you post something on social media, have your notifications on so that you're ready to respond to comments, messages, and inquiries quickly. That's one thing that across the board, people trust brands that get back into contact with them quickly. So even if it's a negative comment or something you might not necessarily want to see, try to change their mind or comment something that is relevant to their question. Engage and repost reviews. So as agents, you should all be asking your clients to go write you a review. It can be kind of hard to get them to write a review on Yelp and Facebook and Google and HAR. So just have them write a review on whatever platform they're most comfortable with. Screenshot it and share it across your platforms, because you want everyone who follows you, sees your content, to know how much you rock. And if you want to get really fancy with it, you can take the photo and, put it into Command Designs and make something really pretty out of it, or you can simply screenshot it, post it on your story, and just say, hey, like another 5-star review from a client. Drive traffic to your new platform by letting people know where they can find you. So if you're on Facebook right now and you're like, I really need to create an Instagram for my business, start promoting my business that way, an easy way is to get the people who already know you and trust you and follow you on social media to go follow your Instagram page. You can post something as simple as your headshot or a screenshot of your Instagram feed and say, hey, I'm on Instagram now, go follow me. Super easy, and you're able to drive traffic from one platform to another. And then post your best content during peak times to broaden your audience. This is one key thing of how I help to grow Keller Williams Memorial's Facebook and Instagram following, is by posting our content that people engage with the most during the times that are the most high traffic times on those platforms. So let's talk about the most high traffic times for this platform. You might want to whip out your phones and take pictures. There are screens in the back as well. Facebook. The darker times on this is going to be when people are most likely to be on those platforms. Wednesday from about 10 until 2 is a really, really good time to post good content on Facebook. And you'll notice that throughout that middle of the week time, when people are kind of like at work and they're like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? That is when people are getting on Facebook most. So you want to think about what people are doing when they're engaging on social media. And more often than not, they're trying to tune out the day-to-day stuff. They're on their lunch break. So that's when people are scrolling the most often. That's not to say that you don't want to post during these other times. That's just to say that maybe during the other times you post things that people don't love as much, but you still want to go out there, get a couple likes on it. But your stuff that you spend time curating the content, you really, really need people to see this listing, is going to be during those times. Also, if you're running a paid advertisement on Facebook, run it during the middle of the week from like Wednesday to Friday. Just do a 3-day ad, spend $25, but you're going to get the most engagement because that's when most people are on. Instagram. Did everyone get a picture of that? Okay, Instagram. Again, Instagram, Wednesdays and Fridays are those peak times. You see a little bit on Saturday midday of people sort of getting on and engaging, and then Monday towards the end of the day. But again, Wednesday, Friday, those are peak times for that post engagement. Okay. Everyone get a picture? Cool. Lastly, LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is an interesting one because it's spread out a little bit more. That's because it is a professional platform, so people are more likely to engage during their business hours. So check out Tuesdays, Wednesdays midday, Thursdays, and Fridays are all good times to post on LinkedIn. Mondays are a little bit lighter in terms of engagement. Okay. Pardon? Yes. Midnight to 11 p.m. And we are going to take a brief break before we get into creating. The end of this class is going to be a lot more tutorials and things. I do want to give our sponsor a moment to speak and then give you guys time to grab a quick lunch, so give me just one moment to grab him. Oh. Yeah, he just stepped out. Is he ready? How's it going, Kitty? It is being live streamed, so I think that it automatically records.
Should be. We can ask Chris to put it together and then I can send you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I also run
As
social
a
media
market center.
small groups for about 4 or 5 agents. It's a 6-week program where we just dig deep on these concepts and do a little bit of labbing of creating content and stuff. So if you're interested in being on the wait list for that program, just come see me afterwards and I'll add your name to the list. I office out of agent services, so you can just come see me. I'll put you on there.
Hello, hi.
You can.
Hi. So I don't know what class we're going on. My name is Frank, and you can call me Frank. It's fun. I'm a home inspector. If you have any yes, yes. That's what you learn with the time. That's what kind of market you are. Well, my name is Frank. I'm a professional engineer. I was an environmental engineer in Canada when I moved up here. And I got to looking like you guys want to be entrepreneur, don't want 9 to 5. So I was an engineer when I was working, and I had a small company. When I came here, I thought to do like on, so over there, that will be construction. And start rolling out 6.5 years ago. And we do like I have inspectors, I have inspectors as well. We have home inspections, market inspections, commercial, residential, and pool inspection. And also you have a range to your works. So we can do septic and water by ourselves. Just call me one stop shop. Even I have Supra. You guys have done your job. For other so I can take with the client. Right? So any questions you have, just ask me. We also do the infrared scanning. We also do that infrared scanning and the drone inspection and the roof inspection where you can walk on. So we do the roof inspection. My cards are there, and you text me. I will send you a $50 and if you guys doing any open house or you're doing like a home buying seminar, let me know when everything is talk and inspection professional and the Pic Social like more easier because I'm a state system. The Pic Social Texas inspection professional. And maybe you want to know about the pricing. So we normally charge for 2,000 get house of the built after and I'm offering a $50 discount to person that give your number. It is 325. Now so we in the state and my inspections. And my inspections? Yes. WDI? Yeah, we do that. So we can do myself. I have my own license for the WDI as well. So whenever it's very busy, then I hire the inspectors. When it's slow down, then I do it. I don't mind driving from Woodlands to Spearland, Switzerland, wherever you want me. I'm just following steps. I know you guys are here, but you have clients everywhere. So I can't hear you wherever you're going. I just follow.
course.
When you go online, you get that from the table. But I want to pass so I can send you the questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And if you guys want to take a brief break and grab something to eat, we'll start in about 5 to 10 minutes.
I'll give it, I get it.
wasn't planning on sending out the slides for this class.
It's really good data.
Oh, I can go back to it if you want. Okay. Hello. Hi, Naomi. Nice to meet you. Oh, okay. Alex McCauley. Joe Diasana. And those were for Facebook. And then Jim Shelton does a pretty good job on Facebook as well. And then for Instagram, I mentioned John Cavalier, or Chris and Cab is what they go by. And then Lily Chang.
Yeah, I missed the Facebook ones.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. My pleasure. Okay, are you guys ready to jump back in? Awesome. So now we're going to talk about creating content and posting it. So what should you post? What types of posts are more effective? Well, I have a ton of data here, so this slide might take a little bit, but content types consumers want from brands on social media. So these are the things that consumers want to see on social media. Number one is links to more information. So a lot of consumers like posts that give them links to, let's say, an article that digs deeper on down payment assistance programs, links to more information about your business. The second thing is graphics and images. So if you can make some cute infographics, I'll show you a little bit on how to use designs to make really good graphics to promote your business. And then produced video, which produced video is actually the #1 trend right now for marketing for real estate agents. We have a great resource here, the green screen room, right out this door to the left. You guys are welcome to reserve that, shoot video. Also, if you just want to do like a quick selfie video at your listing, walk people around and show it to them, that is going to get you a lot more engagement. Use the Facebook Live feature as well as the Instagram Live feature to post videos in the moment. They don't have to be perfect, but one thing I would say is you just kind of have to put it out there and you're going to get better. For example, we do these little weekly updates. They've become kind of bi-weekly updates, but with Garrett Hall, our assistant team leader, and they started with me holding a camera shakily in the commercial conference room, but they've evolved into what looks like a professional video. So just like with anything, the more you do it, the better you get. A lot of people can be nervous to put out a video, but once you put out one, everyone after that's going to get better. So keep that in mind. And then text conversations, I wouldn't say that's as relevant for the industry that we're in. And then lastly, produced and edited photos are #5. So if you're highly editing any photos, you probably want to be wary of that because it's probably not going to get as much engagement. The next thing here is what social media marketers need to succeed by network. So this breaks down all the networks. We're just going to focus on these first 3. And this is what you need that is most important. And then the last one would be the one that you need as least important. I put this in here because it's great data. But on LinkedIn, I would slightly disagree when it comes to real estate agents, and I'll tell you why. So Facebook, #1 is you're going to need video to succeed on Facebook. The way Facebook is integrating video into a newsfeed fashion is really helping people get more engagement on those videos. So if you've been on Facebook recently on your phone, you notice you click on one video, and as soon as that video is over, it scrolls up and you see another video that might be relevant to you. And then if you watch it, then as soon as that video is over, then you see an ad, and then you see another video. That's what's driving so much traffic to Facebook videos right now. Next is you're going to need a budget for ads on Facebook. Facebook's advertising targeting is the best advertising targeting across any social media platform because they kind of have a history of invading people's privacy. They know a lot about people, so you're able to target ads based on that information. Data-driven strategies. So that just comes with a strategy based on demographics. At the very, very end, I'll show you how to track your analytics on Facebook. So you may have a week where you're posting like the most bomb content, it's so good, and then you have a week where you're like, okay, no one's liked anything. You can track those analytics and see what's working for your audience and adjust accordingly, and that'll be the very, very end of this class. And then lastly, audience insights. Instagram, video again. Huge on Instagram, and even though you can only post videos that are about a minute long, that's perfect because you're not going to capture a millennial's attention past 1 minute. Data-driven strategy is the second one. Third is audience insights, and fourth is a budget for ads. Instagram ads run in tandem with most Facebook ads, so if you go to the Facebook Ad Center and you create an advertisement, more than likely there's going to be a feature that allows you to put it on Instagram as well. That's why Instagram falls at the very bottom when it comes to a budget for advertisements, because most of those advertising dollars are being spent through Facebook and those ads are being pushed to Instagram because you can connect those two accounts. Okay, and then with LinkedIn, and this is the one I kind of disagree with, audience insights is huge on LinkedIn because you're able to access who's looking at your profile, just a ton of insights through that. And especially if you pay for a pro LinkedIn account, you're able to see a ton of data. Data-driven strategy, video is third, and then lastly is a budget for ads. However, for real estate agents, I would recommend LinkedIn for advertisements. I've never talked about this in one of my classes, so you guys are the first ones to get this information. LinkedIn has a feature for paid ads where you can pay X amount of dollars for an advertisement and send messages directly to the inbox of people who might be interested in it. So let's say you have a listing that is in the medical center, and you look up the RPR report and you find out the most people who are moving to that area work in the medical field. You can create a LinkedIn paid advertisement with a message that goes to people's inboxes and just comes in as a LinkedIn message that says, hey, check out my listing in this area. Are you looking to buy or sell real estate? That, you could get a listing and a buyer off of that if you get someone who's like, yeah, I really need to be closer to work. This traffic is killing me, and I have this listing that needs to be sold in order for me to do that. That's why I would honestly put this at number 1 or number 2 when it comes to LinkedIn, because as an agent, if you're able to target, especially because LinkedIn is a professional platform, so you're able to target a specific group of people who work in a field and are in the area of Houston, you're able to generate more leads and actually engage people on a more personal level. Buying or selling a home is a personal thing. So seeing a Facebook ad that says, hey, look at this listing, learn more, it's great. It's not as personalized as getting a message that says, hey, I think you might be a perfect fit for this listing. And you've never met this person before in your life. So that's a really great resource, yes. It depends on how much you want to spend, and that's across all the platforms. It depends on how much reach you want to get, how much you want to spend. You could spend anywhere from $5 to $100, and that's just a gauge of how effective your advertisement's going to be. I would recommend the first time you go with this, do, just a few dollars, maybe 20 bucks. See how it works for you. If it works well for you, then spend a little bit more. Because let's say you spend $100 and you get 1 lead for a buyer, that pays for itself. And so, yes. Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You'll go to the ad center. You can actually just Google like LinkedIn ads, and there's a number of different ads you can do. I think the last option is that messaging ad, and there's more details on that as well if you just Google that, and it's the first option.
So we could do a Facebook ad through command. Can you do a LinkedIn ad?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
You have to go through LinkedIn specifically to do a LinkedIn ad because they have their own center for that. You can do Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on command. Okay, and then what marketers post versus what consumers want on social. I thought this was really interesting. So the first line there is marketers, the second line is consumers. Marketers are posting to teach something. Obviously, they want to teach you about their business. But what consumers want to see is discounts and sales. So you'll see here that these things repeat. So for example, post that inspire was number 3 for marketers. But if you're able to meet these consumers where they're at, and the most of your content is discounts or sales or promotions or whatever you're running, and then the second thing is post to showcase your new products and services, which it could be listings, it could be your access to Keller mortgage, it could be new down payment assistance programs that just hit the market, whatever it is. You can be creative with this, but if you're able to meet consumers where they're at, your content's going to land much better and be much more effective. And just use these percentages as the percentage of stuff you post. So I don't know how relevant this is to real estate, but let's say this 60%. So 60% of what you post is showcasing your new products and services, and 12% of what you post are the partnerships you have with influencers or mortgage lenders or inspectors or whatever. I cannot make that larger, but I can send you, did everyone sign in? Was there a sign-in sheet that went around? I can send you the graphics package if that would be helpful. Yeah. Okay, this is the fun part. I'll let you watch this video to get hyped. Okay, I love that video. And now we're going to jump into designs. So you don't have to go with me in this part. I won't have like that much time today to go in depth with you. If you would like a more in-depth look, come to the coaching corner on Wednesday at 2 p.m. where I will be teaching designs in depth. We'll go step by step with you guys. For now, I'm just going to give you a brief tutorial and show you how you can leverage the Command Designs feature in order to create content for your social media. Okay? So let's actually go back here and take a look at, so the number one feature that's really relevant to real estate here is posts that showcase new products or services. So let's run with that and create something that will showcase a new product or service that we're offering. Let's just, for the purpose of this class, say that some new down payment assistance programs just hit. We want to post something on Instagram showcasing that for our millennial potential customers. So in order to get to this, you're going to log into Command. It's agent.kw.com if anyone's feeling ambitious and wants to follow along. And so it's the 9th applet down on the left-hand side is designs. It's a nice rectangle with a pencil icon in it. If you click on that, if you haven't created any designs, more than likely your dashboard will be blank. As you can see here, I've created a lot of designs. So in order to create a new design, you're going to go to this little blue button at the bottom. You get 3 options: email, social, and print. Obviously, we're going to be focusing on social today, and we're going to create that design. So then it launches us into what is called WeBrand. It's just the third-party site that Keller Williams uses to design items in. And then were there any questions about the content stats that we went over just now while this loads? Pardon? Agent.kw.com. And what I'm talking about in terms of content is this slide here. If you guys have any questions or just want to pick my brain, I'm happy to chat with you while we get this up and running. No? Okay, cool. So just to give you a brief tour of what you're seeing here, on the left-hand side, you're going to see the different topics that things can cover. So you'll see client love, for sale, templates. There's templates for just about anything. And one thing that's great about Command Designs is you can use any of the templates that you might like and just change the information on it, and it can become whatever you want it to be. So we can click through, and we're using Instagram. So at the top here, you'll see that all of the social media platforms that are there, it's specifically sized for those. So the upload requirements are going to be different for each platform in terms of size. You can change that there. So I'm just looking through these, seeing what I can use to sort of advertise the new down payment assistance program that I'm advertising. And it's probably going to be a little bit more text heavy, so I'll be looking for something that I can add some more information to. There are Keller mortgage templates on here, guys, and you should be leveraging this. Even if you have a preferred mortgage lender, if you want to work with more buyers, you should definitely be leveraging this information to give them more options. Yes. There is not, but come see me after, because there's a site you can access. Actually, I'll just show you really quickly because we're actually running ahead of schedule. If you go to KW Connect, same login as Command, but you can search for Keller Mortgage. And somewhere on here, but these things tend to get buried. Let's actually go up here to resources. So if you go to resources and then you go to Keller Mortgage, you can go to the Keller Mortgage resources. And on this website, you'll have to let them know that you understand all of the requirements for that, but you're able to find under marketing materials that have all the information you'll need to advertise this to your buyers. So if you wanted to get some social media graphics that are already created, you can download this zip file here, and you'll notice that they already have some things that are created for you that you can just sort of create a caption for and post on your social media, and you don't have to make any edits. They're already ready to post on Instagram and Facebook, sized for that. So these are some great graphics, and then you can read up more on the details of what Keller Mortgage is actually offering. If you go to home, and then you can find deals, so see the status of any deals you have. And then in the marketing area, where was it? Guidelines, there it is. So you can look at the advertising guidelines. You'll notice here that you do have to put the NMLS number in any of the marketing stuff that you're using, so they know that it's with Keller Mortgage. So dig into this site and research that, because I would really recommend this be something that you're using to capture more buyer leads, letting them know you have access to some different things that other agents don't have access to. Yes, there are a lot of agents using Keller Mortgage on a high level with their clients. And how much are they getting back, Gabby? Yeah, so clients are getting at least $1,500 back at closing with a lot of these Keller Mortgage programs, and only if there's a Keller Williams agent in the transaction can they use Keller Mortgage. So that's a huge resource you guys can leverage through your social media. Okay, now we'll be back here and let's just look at some of these options. So let's use one of these templates here for local expert, and I really like this one because it's trendy and it's modern. And does everyone remember how to get to that Keller mortgage screen? It's kwconnect.com, and you're going to go to resources and then Keller mortgage. And that will take you directly to that site. If it's your first time, you'll have to check those boxes to move to the next step to be able to see the marketing materials and the guidelines.
I just found it. You're an agent. If you go to bettermortgage.com,
That's why it doesn't go for me, because I'm not an
I just
agent.
found it.
Nice, thank you so much. So this is a fun little thing. So we're advertising a new service. So we'll just put financing alert, and that's how easy these templates are to change. You can just change a couple words around, and it looks great. New. We're going to change that font to be a little bit smaller. Then we can move these guys down and just put something like contact me for details. And then something like maybe a call to action. Let me help you find home. Okay, and then obviously it needs a little help here, so we can play around with the text alignment, make it all flush center. And then once I'm ready with this, I'm able to download it and just post it on my social media, and I think that took me like 3 minutes. So you'll get better at it, though. I've been playing around with it a lot. I changed the name up here to my DPA programs, and maybe I'll just post that on Instagram during that peak time on Wednesday. See how many people DM me to see about those programs, because I know that's a big thing in the area. And then I'm going to show you one more thing on designs that is arguably one of my favorite things. And I will say the disclaimer that some information isn't all the way there, but I think it's still really, really cool. And that is the neighborhood snap. So if you're specializing in an area, or you just know that a lot of your clients are interested in an area, get ahead of it and post something that just shows that you're an expert in that. So there's tons of little templates. They're all pretty similar, but you know, they're sized for whatever you need. So let's just go with Instagram because the square is easy. And let's go with this one. Yes, they're constantly adding new templates, new ideas, and sometimes things shift around a little bit. So try to log in every once in a while and just play around with it so you don't get too far behind on this. So you have this here, house hunting in, let's say, Spring Branch. We'll just use that as our example today. So I've changed that. I can go ahead and change this logo here as well. And it comes with that each office is independently owned and operated disclaimer on all of these, so you don't have to worry about putting that in. And then how I can change this out to be this Spring Branch neighborhood is by going to this KWLS feature on the left-hand side. And you see up here there are two options. You've got listings and you've got snapshots. If I click on snapshots, I'm able to search any neighborhood by name. And there it is, Spring Branch. And once I click on that, it's going to give me the two size options for that neighborhood, so I can swap it out with this one, and then it's ready to post. You'll notice here, well, it's just giving me the one, so we might have to move some things around, but that's not a big deal. So let's just go ahead and delete this one. And we'll put this guy in. It's actually giving me everything I wanted. So they updated it. Remember how days on market wasn't showing, Gabby? Remember how days on market wasn't showing? Yeah. They updated it. So I have to play around with it a little bit. But now it pulls all the stats. I didn't have to type any of this information in. And I have this graphic. It's not completely lined up. It's going to drive me crazy. Where I can show my clients the average listing price, the average sold price, the total active days, total pending, average days on market, and average price per square foot. This is a great stat to just post and be informative and say, hey guys, check out the details about the Spring Branch neighborhood. If you're looking to move to this area, this would be a great time to buy. The holidays are always a great time to buy because more serious buyers and people with listings are more likely to have a little bit of wiggle room if they're buying during the Christmas or Thanksgiving season and get some engagement. As far as I know, yes. If someone finds that a number isn't accurate, that's a great opportunity to say like, hey, thank you so much for the information. Let's get together and discuss more in terms of that. Yes. But for the overarching stats for a neighborhood, it can be pretty helpful with that. Pardon? That is in designs. I'm still in designs. So if you go to KWLS and you go to snapshots, let's search Memorial just to see what is offered there as well. And you'll notice with some of these that it won't show the average days on market. It will say N/A. You can either post that one or look for a neighborhood that does have the average days on market for that area. So for example, you see Memorial, for the average sold price, it's saying not applicable. That can be for a number of reasons, but this is a new feature, so they're pulling stats constantly, which is why I was surprised that Spring Branch had everything on it because they just updated that yesterday. But this would be a great graphic to post during my peak times to give my buyers and sellers some more information about their area. So, yeah, this Instagram template could actually also get posted to Facebook as well. Because when you go to post something on Instagram, you'll notice that there are two little switches you can turn on. So you can post to Facebook directly from Instagram, and you can post to Twitter directly from Instagram. I would say that Instagram's a great one to, a great template to start with, since you can use it for those other platforms. It's not optimized for those platforms, but you can use them for all three. Cool. Anyone have questions about command designs?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
What, besides snap, what other those design options have that
Information. So with the KWLS, if you attend my class, you'll know that you can look up a specific listing. For example, let's look up this listing that one of our agents has. this one here. If I select this, I'm able to swap out the photos directly from the MLS. And I'm also able to get the listing details and the description from those and swap them out on my design. So if I'm making an actual listing flyer, or I'm just making a social media graphic to promote my new listing, I can use the KWLS to import that information from my listing. Also, if I'm doing something just sold or under contract, like Abby says, it takes a couple of days, so you can still use that information if you get something that goes under contract quick and say under contract in 2 days, and advertise that on your social media. Yes, I don't think any agent would get upset about somebody trying to promote their listing. So you have access on KWLS. You can see I just looked up Lisa Ritchie's listing. I'm obviously not the listing agent on this property, but I'm still able to look it up and get all the information in order to promote it. So you can promote other Keller Williams agents' listings, and on Pic Social, that's a huge feature because it allows you to promote marketplace listings, which are listings from other people in the office, and they post as if they're your listings. Obviously, that's still that agent's listing, but it helps people to see, oh, okay, they're really busy and working really hard in the market, and they're doing a lot of business. So perception is reality, and that's a great way to get started. Any other questions about designs? Okay, cool. So now we're going to talk about leverage through Pic Social, and I'm going to pass it off to Gabby. She's going to help me with this. Like Michael said, we pay, he said $5,000 to use Pic Social in the office, and this helps you to promote your business. Thanks. So we're going to give you a quick tutorial on how to set this up. If you want to follow along, go with us to circlepix.com. And hold on, go back here. Let's have their login. Your login should be your KW email, and then your password should be KWRocks1 with a capital K. If that doesn't work for you, we can get someone to reset your password, but that's what it should be. Capital K, KWRocks1 with a capital K. I'll write it over here too. And the username should be your KW email. Here, you can use this one.
Okay. Has any of you ever set up these before? Two? You can't get in? Okay. Naomi, do we have time to actually like set it up? It will take like, okay. So we're actually gonna do it. If you have your laptops, I'm gonna give you times, guys, we're gonna go step by step and we're going to set this up, okay? Are we all in? And to log in, you're gonna click on this login right here. If you go to the one on the top, it's gonna give you some very weird options. So just click on login right there. Yeah, for you guys, it should be your email address. If you're new, should be your email address and then KWRocks #1. Okay. So once you're in, you're going to go to the social media tab. It's going to be the third on the top. And then you are going to click on dashboard. So in here, your dashboard most likely is not going to look like mine if you haven't set this up yet. But just know that once you set this up, the dashboard is going to give you already results on everything that is happening in your social media. So it's going to let you know what days you're going to have access to a calendar right here. That's going to tell you already what's going to happen in the month. When are you posting what type of content? And it's not you, it's actually the system. When the system will be posting stuff for you on which social media platform. Continue? Okay. So we're going to go to social media setup right here, the first option. And the first thing that the system will ask you is, what social media platform do you want to connect to this system? So most likely all of you will have a Facebook account, and then some of you may have LinkedIn, and very few of you probably have Twitter. But you can connect all of them. So to connect those accounts, the only thing that you have to do is you're going to see this connect button right next or right below the social media. So you just click on there, and then it's going to take you to log in to that particular social media. So go ahead and do that and connect the ones that you want to connect. You don't have to connect everything. So for me, for example, and the first one is asking you for your personal Facebook page, and then the second part is for business pages, which of course LinkedIn is considered a business page, Facebook, and then your Twitter account as well. It will go automatically to your business page, and it will send you an email with the post ready. But you have to approve it for your personal page. And that's per Facebook policies. Because for your personal profile, you have to have at least 50% of your content to be personal, not business. And there's no way that CirclePix can know what are you posting. So for your personal one, they will send it to you, and then you just approve it. 50. Did you click, what do you see when you clicked on connect right there? You have to connect the personal first, because the personal is like the mother of your business. And then you're going to block for personal content if you don't want anything to go there. Yeah, or you can, yeah. Yeah, just connect again. So LinkedIn will expire every 3 months, and that's per LinkedIn policies. You have to reconnect every 3 months, and you're going to get 3 or 4 emails before that happens, letting you know, hey, your connection is about to expire, so that you can reconnect that and keep it fresh all the time. Okay? So then we're going to click on continue. So the only thing we did here is just connect your accounts. That's all. And then we go to continue. So in here is asking you to select your coverage areas. And what does this mean? So basically, since you know that the system will pick listings from other agents, so it's asking you where, so that the system is not posting listings in, let's say, Pearland, and you don't want to go there, so you don't want to be known as an agent that works in that area, right? You want to be, like, this is going to help you get the image that you want to get, pretty much. So if there's a particular area that you want to work with, that's the area that you want to put in here, because any listing from other agents in that area, it's going to be eligible for your post in here. Does it make sense? So if I don't want to work in the Woodlands, I'm not going to put the woodlands here so that the system does not create marketing pieces with properties in the woodland. Right? Yeah, so what I did, which for me was way easier than picking cities, because cities for here, which was really hard for me to understand, because for me the city is Houston, but apparently here the city is like literally Piney Point Village is a city. So, yeah. Exactly, it's so confusing. So what I did is I actually clicked on county, and then I picked Harris County, and it's gonna give you all the cities, which I guess are the cities. So, and then you just delete the ones that you don't want. That way you're not gonna miss anything.
So you can go more
But-
granular than Houston, because
Yes,
the far side of Houston is a 2-hour drive from the north side of
yeah.
that you just define it.
This is mine, this is what I want. You're gonna do what you want. So you're gonna,
So that's all of Houston for you,
yeah.
okay?
And then in here, but again, if you go by county and then you put Harris County, just take out the locations that you don't want, and it's gonna be easier. Yeah, and then you can do Fort Bend and so on and so forth. And then you can come back later here, but just know that you can do it by city or by county, and then you can take out the ones that you don't want.
Is there a limit to how many you can do?
No. Okay? Then, on the next step, the system is asking you, okay, I'm going to create content on your behalf. When do you want me to post this? What do you want me to write about so that I can post it for you? This is what this is asking you right now. So for example, in here, and you're gonna see here the platforms that you connected. If you connected Twitter, you're gonna see Twitter there. So whatever you connected, yes. Okay, so for your personal profile, it's asking you if you want to allow. So if you don't want these to go to your personal, then just take it out. And then for your business page, and then LinkedIn and Twitter if you connected it. How often do you want this? You can select up to 4 days. That's the maximum. So for this, you have to start putting in use what you just learned from Naomi. So what days are better for what, at what times, and so on and so forth. For me, I have it just for Mondays for content because I know what is coming next, which is marketplace listings, holidays, and my own listings. So I know that there's more things coming up in the next steps, and I don't like to overcharge my personal, my business page, but this is totally up to you. And I think, what would you recommend for this? Like for them, this is content. Those are the less popular? Yeah.
I would recommend the less popular times for this type of content because this type of stuff you see like those articles of like 10 ways to like make your home on a budget or something like that. I would recommend during the most popular times posting your listings and the marketplace listings because I mean that's what you're in business for and people are gonna grab multiple.
Yeah. So following that recommendation, I'm gonna put this for Sunday.
Sunday, Monday, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it for Monday then. So Monday for content, and then in here you have to select at least 8 categories, and the reason for this is so that you're not putting posts about food all the time. Like you have to have at least a variety of content in here. If there's something that you don't want, you can uncheck it. So you have a lot of things from architecture, interior design, photography, moving tips, mortgage, real estate, travel, do it yourself, and all that. So you have to have at least 8. That's the only requirement. And then you're gonna have your location again. So whatever you put in the location before, it's gonna come up here again. Is that my phone? I've been trying to talk to Siri for the longest, and now she understands me. Okay, so in here, Again, you can always change this on every step of the way. Next, yes. Because you want to save the days with more engagement for listings. But you're going to have listings. You're going to see. You're going to post other agents' listings. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that argument. So LinkedIn, like I mentioned before, it's a slower moving platform. People spend more time curating their content to post on LinkedIn. People don't usually post on LinkedIn 5 times a day like they might on Facebook. People are going to post on LinkedIn less frequently. They're going to make sure they check for grammatical errors and that they're really putting out their best content. This is good content. This content is very, very well done. You can choose fewer days for LinkedIn if you'd like, or you can choose to just do your own content on LinkedIn if you'd like. But this content is great and it is much more professional. It's not as much, you post a Facebook event and you're like, we're having a sip and paint open house, you should come to it. It's much more like, hey, check out this listing, things like that might appeal to a more professional image. So I would recommend this resource for LinkedIn, yes.
So you can go through this series.
No, if you wanted to not have LinkedIn on there, you would just leave LinkedIn off and you would do your own content, or you could copy paste the articles from Facebook if you wanted to do it that way.
So do it manually for LinkedIn.
I wouldn't like I said, I recommend this resource. If you should do this for your resource. I wouldn't recommend posting everything you post on Facebook in terms of the fun family stuff and all that stuff on LinkedIn. But this resource is going to give you professional content on LinkedIn. And it's not going to post 5 times a day. So I would recommend using this for LinkedIn, just as you would use it for Facebook.
You go through this process for set up your social media marketplace.
No, you cannot, but I would recommend going through this process for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter if you wanted to, and using the same stuff for each. Because it's not going to overload your newsfeed with anything. And then that additional stuff you post on Facebook that might be fun stuff or it might be more conversational, leave that for Facebook. But that's separate. That's not with Circle Pics. I was just answering her question about keeping a more professional image on LinkedIn, that you don't want to post everything you're putting on Facebook. That's like, hey, check out this picture of me and my friends and all that stuff. You don't want to just duplicate that on LinkedIn. But with Circle Pics, yes, use all the resources on LinkedIn. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely, yeah. Go through this process for LinkedIn. That would be my recommendation. Can't do it separately, and separate the platforms. So I would go through this process for Facebook.
No, this doesn't work with Instagram. And the reason is, if you can see, like, most of the things are like content and listings, and Instagram is pretty much a picture and a capture. So it doesn't play very well with the platform. Hopefully it's coming soon and they have like a separate category for that, but yeah. Okay, so the next step is for holidays. So the only thing that you have to do pretty much is select the holidays that you want the system to create a little Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, sort of, I guess, design, and they will post it automatically on your behalf. So you have all these options here. There is no minimum or maximum for this part. So if you want to post for every single holiday, just be aware that you have some Canada holidays in there, that if you don't work with Canadian people, then maybe it doesn't even make sense. And then you have a little, in here you can see all the, how is it going to look like. If you want to check all of them before you select them, then you can check them from this drop-down menu. Yes, because, yeah, that's the whole point. But you can see, like, at least how is it going to look like, or what's the point of having that. Yeah. Yes, it will post. That's why you don't have any day in here, because that will be posted on the exact day of the holiday that you picked in here. Yeah, and as you can see, you don't even have the option, because this will be posted on the day of the holiday that you selected. Okay? And then the next one, we're getting to the good stuff. So now this is for your own listings. If you don't have any listing now, it doesn't matter. Still put it there so that whenever you do have the listing, this will automatically be done for you. So in here, the first question is, do you want the system to create a property site, which is just like a post, or a listing video, or both? My recommendation would be take both. It's your own listing. Give it the attention that it requires. And that it deserves, of course. And then you're going to have your social media platforms in here. Again, the only thing you have to do is just check the ones that you want. And then for Facebook, you can actually pick how often do you want your listing to be posted. Your options are going to be once, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or manual, or never. And then for your business page, the same thing. For LinkedIn, it only allows once. And that's LinkedIn policies. So that's all you have. Yes. Yes. Same thing. Next. This is the fun part for me. And this is why this is totally worth it. This is the marketplace listings. You know that all the listings in here are Michael's listings, because he's a broker, right? The listings are from the broker. So he allows all of us to share those listings for marketing purposes, pretty much. So in here, this is actually asking you, okay, we have 200 listings in your office right now, all over Houston, right? So the system, what it's asking you is, okay, when do you want me to post listings from your office that are not yours? From what price range do you want me to pick those listings, and what location? Okay, so again, location, you pick that at the beginning, but anyways, if you scroll down, you're going to have them here again. So if you need to modify them, you can do that as well from here. The price range, you have it right here. So again, this is going to build your image. People are going to actually think that those are your listings. So if it's a particular price point that you want to be known for, that's the price range that you want to put in here. So, and you can leave, like if you don't want to put a minimum, you can leave it blank. If you don't want to put a maximum, you can leave that blank as well. But that's totally up to you and how do you want to be recognized. Yes, you can come back in here and change it at any point. And then in here you have, again, when do you want this? For this particular feature, you can select up to 7 days of the week. What will you do? These are the marketplace listings.
The marketplace listing. I would select
Cool. There. Not Saturday?
you could do Saturday. I mean, Saturday's not gonna hurt you.
It will be automatically posted on your Facebook page, and then you will receive an email with a post prepared for you to post to your personal Facebook. And then you either approve or just don't do anything to it, and then it won't be posted. And then you hit continue. Are you guys ready with this? Any questions for this part? And then you hit continue. And it's gonna take you to upload your agent headshot and to put your information and to finish your profile. So once you're done with that, after you hit next a couple times and you fill out the information, then you have a save and exit option. And that's it. You can log in here as many times as you need to, and then you can change anything at any point. Is there any question about this? Yeah. You would have to come here and uncheck the connections with your social media. But you can, and then you can log in the week after and then check those again. Yeah, I think I may have something in my Facebook, most likely. And do you have something? Yay, I remember my password.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of myself too. Okay, so this is my business page. And something should be there. See, happy Labor Day, happy Thanksgiving, that's from last year. Okay, so this is a sample. I didn't do anything in there. This was like automatically posted into my business page. And they even will do the capture in there. And it rotates, like it's not always, come see this, and then next time it will be like a different capture, yeah.
And they use popular hashtags too, which helps.
It creates a site with a listing, and as you can see, I'm there. Like you can barely see the listing agent is probably right here, Dana Johnson at the bottom. But you will get it in your email. Yeah.
And you set up that
Mm-hmm.
that you'd like it to go to.
Yeah. So it creates a site, and then when you have your own listings, it will do the same, and it will also create a video for your listing, which is pretty much all the pictures from the MLS put together in a slow motion with that house music. Not house music, but you know, when you get into an open house and there's like the music, which I know house music is another one, but you know that what music, right?
Lit video.
That elegant restaurant music, that
Elevator
one.
music.
Well, it depends on what elevator. But yes, restaurant music, that's what you will get. So it's pretty, like, you really set this up one time, and then you can literally forget about it, and that will create movement into your business page if you're not a person that is actively posting stuff. Because again, as Naomi said, Facebook is not, it doesn't stay in a timeline structure. It's by engagement. Yeah. I don't, but you do. You can have, if you set it up, you are going to pick your subdomain. So you will, like, you literally have to put in there, what do you want it to be? The only thing I know that it's going to be something.kw.com. But you have to set it up. Do you remember your Placer website? Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Back. Thank you so much, Gabby, for giving us that quick tutorial. And we've got about 15 minutes left, and we're going to wrap up the class, and I'm going to answer all your questions. Yes. Nothing will automatically go to your personal page for Facebook. You have to push it, so you'll get an email saying that your post has been prepared, and then you're able to post it, and if you don't want to post it, you can just delete it. But nothing will automatically go because of Facebook permissions. It can't automatically push content because of Facebook permission. So it'll send you an email saying your post for your personal page is created and ready, and whatever has already gone on your business page will already go on your business page. And then you have.
All I care about is successful flow to the business page, so I can ignore the personal account and then I love.
You can, but it would be good to post some things on your personal page because you're going to probably have more friends on that page. So the only thing is, it used to post to your personal page automatically and your professional page. They recently changed their permissions because of their privacy standards and people getting hacked and things like that, to where you have to go in, if there's anything automatically pushing to your personal page on Facebook now, you have to go in and approve it before it actually goes. So it's just an extra step of authentication. You can post as much of the Circle Pic stuff as you'd like, and you should post it on your personal page to get more engagement, but you don't have to. It's just you have to go through that extra step. Does that make sense?
I don't really want the Facebook person.
You can ignore it. You won't get the notifications. Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to have to manage my personal.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's a worthy strategy. My pleasure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does help you with your professionalism. Okay, so we're moving on to targeted ads. Unfortunately, the command paid ad feature is down today, which means I won't be able to give you a tutorial on that. But what I will say is this is a great feature. An agent, Monty Foster, and you can speak to this as well, she used this and she got a buyer and seller lead from the command lead capture feature. So I'd recommend if you come back for this class in December, just come back towards the end and get this feature, because this is a huge, huge power source for leads, and it captures those leads directly into your database. Let's talk a little bit about those LinkedIn paid messages. On average, they have a 25% open rate, which is a pretty high open rate. If you consider how many people your Facebook ad probably goes out to, and then you consider the LinkedIn paid messages feature, 25% is very, very good. So let's look at that. So if you type in LinkedIn paid messages feature, it's called sponsored in-mail. It was the first option after the ads. And so you can go in and try it and create an ad. And it goes over, really quickly, I'll show you here what this looks like. So it's going to look like a message that goes directly to their inbox. And you're able to engage with them. And here are the features. So you send personal messages to your prospects. You can drive conversations with a mobile response design, and you can reach members when they are most engaged. So it gauges when people are most likely to log into LinkedIn, when they're most likely to check their messages. And then here's a quick video on how that feature works. I would highly recommend giving this a try.
To provide a simple and easy way for you to reach the right audience with highly personalized and targeted messages, LinkedIn created sponsored email. Unlike traditional email marketing, where very unique emails are first blocked by a spam filter, sponsored email is delivered only to members who are actively on LinkedIn. And whether your target audience is using a desktop or mobile app, rest assured that your message will look and function seamlessly across both. So what is a sponsored email? While your target audience is using LinkedIn, browsing and engaging with content, your personalized message appears right alongside the member's other messages. It'll easily be click through your landing page or website and take real-time action. If you're on a desktop, they might see a picture of your pending email. A part of your target audience's experience, increasing the likelihood that they'll open, read, and act upon. Setting up a sponsored email can be tricky. First, craft a message that value for your target audience. Next, identify and target your key audience using information members share in their profiles, like location, company size, job title, job function, years of experience, and seniority level. Then, estimate the total investment and price range based on the target audience available, and then seamlessly launch your campaign with sponsored updates or text ads. You'll also be able to measure performance through real-time analytics, as well as A/B testing that'll adjust your target audience or message content for even better results. Using sponsored email, marketers have been increasing attendance at conferences and webinars, boosting downloads of infographics, white papers, and overall maximizing conversions with highly targeted and personalized content. Sponsored email provides a unique win-win for both marketers and members that can only be achieved when the content is relevant, valuable, and personalized. To get started, go to linkedin.com/ads.
So that's a really, really good video. It gives you a quick overview of how you can use that sponsored ad feature on LinkedIn. I would recommend giving it a try with a much smaller budget than what's featured in the video with that $2,900 something dollars. Just give it a quick try, see what kind of stuff you get with a listing, and this would be a great way to reach out to people on a more personal level. Okay, so the second to last thing is become an advocate for your business. These are just quick 3 tips I would suggest on becoming your own biggest fan. On social media, you already have people who know, like, and love you. So one of the best ways to engage more people with your audience is to share content from your business page to your personal page. This is as simple as hitting the share button on something that's posted to your business page. That will help you to get more eyes on it. If you're like me, you probably have like 1,000 friends on Facebook, and you maybe have 200 to 500 people who like your business page. So that's a way to get those 1,000 people's eyes on it and potentially get more followers for your business page. Make sure your team engages with your content. If you have somebody who's an assistant or you're on a team working with another agent, make sure that they're as engaged with the content as you are. Ask them to share the open house event on their personal page or something like that, because the larger sphere of people you're able to reach with your content, the more likely you're able to get a little bit of engagement on it. And then include your social media links in your marketing materials. So on your flyers, on your business cards, in your email signature, you can make little clickable links that will take people directly to your social media channels. And that's a really great way to get some engagement, because if someone can easily click on your email signature and go to your Facebook page and give you a quick follow, makes it a lot easier than them having to go type in a URL. And lastly, track and analyze your success. Tracking your numbers is a big part of real estate, so you guys should have anticipated this one. Let's take a look. So on Facebook, you can see insights or analytics only on a business page. How you get to that is you go to your business page, and at the top you'll see this option that says insights. And there you are able to see the actions taken on your page, how many people have viewed your page, page likes, reach, post engagement, and videos. And you can do the summary based on the last 28 days, the last 7 days, and so on and so forth. And one thing, if you do, for example, the last 7 days, you're able to see that maybe there was a percentage decrease. So maybe you made a small shift in the type of content you were posting on Facebook, and you'll notice, okay, I'm down 51% on my page views compared to last week. So you might want to readjust your content accordingly so that you can engage with your audience better. Go back, look at your content, and see maybe why this engagement is going down. It might be because you ran a paid ad last week, and so you just got that natural boost from getting more people, or it might be that you shifted on your content. Instagram. If you're on Instagram, you have to look at your insights on your phone. You can't look at them on a computer, but you'll go to your Instagram business profile, you'll click these 3 lines here, and you'll go to insights, and there you're able to see, Instagram goes quite in depth, so you're able to see when your followers are actually engaging. So you can see based on days, this person had a lot of followers come online at 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. Those kind of their peak times for the day. And then you can see when your audience, which days your audience is engaging more. So I gave you those general stats on when people have the most engagement. But if you log in and you see your followers for some reason are really getting on there on Monday and Sunday, you might want to adjust your content accordingly. And then again, you can see your age range of followers here. And then gender isn't a great stat for real estate, but it's there for those who are interested in that. You can look at all of these stats and insights on your Instagram business page. LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's a little different. I have a free account, so this is what I can see. I can see 18 people viewed my profile, 307 people viewed my post, and I appeared in 17 search appearances. And if I click on those, it'll give me a little snippet. So it'll give me, of the 18 people who viewed my profile this week, it'll give me maybe 5 of their names. If I pay for the LinkedIn Pro account, you get a lot more analytics. So if you really want to start leveraging that LinkedIn account, you're able to pay. It's a monthly fee, and I believe there's some different levels, but you can get some more analytics. You can see who all is viewing your page, who all is opening your messages, and get some more analytics on the ads that you're running. So that's up to you. I stick with the free account, but you're welcome to do either or. And then lastly, with Command, once you're able to do this lead accelerator feature, they said they'll have it back and up and running by Sunday. You can see the stats for your ads directly in Command. So CPM is cost per impression. You can see that Gabby spent $36.90 for each impression. Cost per click, she spent 49 cents per click. And cost per link click, which is $2. So you can break down these stats and figure out how many leads you got from each one, what your budget was, and overall just the advertisements for the listing. So, does anyone have any questions? Yes. Okay.
So I'm on the very first page.
Uh-huh.
Integrations, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blogger.
Yes.
Now, I have to choose at least 8
Categories.
categories in that count. Let's say I want a different 8 for Facebook, 1 for
don't believe it integrates with YouTube.
Integrations, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blocker.
But can it post to YouTube? I don't think it posts.
Okay, so let's pick two that we know can post to, one of which is not LinkedIn. Facebook and
Twitter?
No.
Twitter?
LinkedIn.
no, not LinkedIn because we've established you have to do LinkedIn by itself. You can't do it through Twitter.
Can you post separate collections of content per page? I don't think so. You have to just select categories that sort of overarch your strategy for everything. So I think that they should be pretty consistent across your brand image with the categories that you select. So if you're not really working with that DIY crowd, just don't select DIY, but maybe select categories that are more in line with your LinkedIn strategy, since that's the more serious platform, and Facebook can just kind of be that secondary piece. Correct. I mean, that's something that we can submit and ask our sales rep if that is something that is capable, but I found I haven't been able to. No. Correct.
Probably you have colleagues, people that you went to university to, that you're not friends, and then in Facebook you have more family environment. Probably, so some you're gonna get bored with the same content because it's not the same.
Well, it's whatever the software lets you do. Ideally, you would have total control. Choose ones, go through it once. You can't make a custom specification.
Correct.
And that's just what software is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd be able to have total control.
You can have total control if you do it yourself, and then you can schedule it.
Yourself, yeah.
No, but you can schedule it. I mean, you can spend like some time once a week,
Yeah.
and you can schedule your own personalized post.
And you can schedule through command.
Then you lose the efficiency of doing it through certified.
Correct. And I think the idea there was efficiency. I think for most agents, they're just like, I just want to click it once and do it and be done with it. So unfortunately, it doesn't let you get as personalized.
That's going by itself, that I don't have to jot
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't want to take this over and make it manual again.
Yeah. Any other questions that I can answer? Yes. So the best way to do that is once you create it, they do have an option where you can invite friends. So it'll give them a notification that say, hey, I'm inviting you to join my business page because of this. They can like the page or they can decline the invitation. And then once you kind of get it up and running, you get some things posting with Pic Social. You're working with designs and you can schedule some content there. After that, you can start sharing your content from your business page. So if you go to your business page, click share, select your profile where you'd like to share it to, and post it to your personal page. Then you'll get more friends and family members that are like, oh, okay, like she's got a new business page, and then they'll go like it and things like that. I don't recommend Twitter for lead generation. You can set it up for Circle Pics or Pic Social to have automated content, but I didn't include it in this class because it moves really fast. And when you're trying to engage with somebody on a marketing level or to sell something, unless you're doing a sponsored ad, it can be really hard to get eyes on your content because most people go to Twitter for that entertainment piece, so they're going to scroll right past, you know, this house and yeah. But if you find success with it, I'd love to chat with you and pick your brain because I haven't found much success for real estate on Twitter. Yeah. Any other questions I can answer?
Different than Circle Pics, I must have missed that.
Yeah, Circle Pics is like the umbrella, and then Pic Social is like a little app within that. So sometimes I get them confused in my brain, but Pic Social. Yeah. Yes, it does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. And also, reach out to the staff if you're like, hey, I'm really thinking about paying for this tool. More than likely, we have a tool in house that you just don't know about yet. So check those out first. If you go to the it's kwmemorialguide.com. This is my little child here. I've created this thing from scratch. kwmemorialguide.com. I love it so much. And I'll go there with you. So if you go to kwmemorialguide.com, you can really get an overview of everything Keller Williams Memorial, everything Keller Williams International, and it's pretty too. So it starts off with Keller Williams International, and you can watch some videos on profit share. You can watch some videos on our culture. I updated it yesterday. And then you can get more information about the staff. You can watch a quick video on what I do on a day-to-day basis, what Felicia does if you click on our pictures. If you're a new agent, go here for your 30, 60, 90-day goals, and you can click a link for everything. So, for example, if I need to know how to create and follow a time block schedule according to the tenets of the One Thing book, I can click that link and read an article. I can watch an hour-long class on Alex McCauley, a top producing agent, teaching open houses. I can listen to the audiobook of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and so on and so forth. And KW Connect and Command are on here. And one thing you'll notice is the command tutorials. If you want to know how to schedule an ad, you want to know how to create an ad, click on this. It takes you to a Google Doc that has every video on command. And let's just search social media. And I can go through creating social media graphics and print designs, and I can watch these quick YouTube videos. They're about 1 minute to 5 minutes each of them, and learn how to use those command functions. That link is on here. You can find out how to dress business casual if you're uncertain about that. And then here on this bigger is better flyer, you'll be able to see a lot of our resources in-house. And then those little link icons will take you to the resource. And if you keep going, you're able to look at our social media, access Circle Pics directly from here, Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, Power Lister Deluxe, as well as these realtor tools here, so Trek, HAR, NAR, and all those resources as well. Order name badges, signs, and things like that, and then there's a glossary. So that would be my resource I would go to find those. And that bigger is better flyer is going to have the bulk of them. My pleasure. Yes.
So we've talked a lot about circumstances.
Circle Pix is like the overarching thing. So if you think of it like Keller Williams, you can think of it like Keller Williams is the overarching thing, and Keller Williams Memorial is a franchise underneath that umbrella. So Circle Pix is the big company. They have a lot of features and everything like that. Circle Pix is just one piece of Pic Social is just one piece of Circle Pix. So they have a bunch of little pieces within that program. Like Philip was talking about, you can talk to Sarai and get a sign writer that has a unique code, and people can text that sign writer for more information about your listing. That would fall under the umbrella of Circle Pix. Pic Social is simply just the social media piece of Circle Pix. Are you thinking about PieSync? PieSync is the one that syncs your contacts with Command and other databases. PieSync, yeah, PIE sync. It's a feature in Command, so if you had all your contacts in another database format, you could, instead of downloading them all to a CSV and then transferring them to the CSV and then uploading them into Command, you can just use PieSync. It's in Circle Pix. So it's one page back right here. If you click here, you're going to go here to log in to access Pic Social. You have to go to circlepix.com to access Pic Social. Yes. Yes. Command does integrate with Twilio. which is the texting feature of Command. And I believe there is a video on that. I can spell it right. I don't really know how to spell that. Twilio. Let's see if we can just put in text. Okay, so learn how to send bulk text with commands and receive and view responses and replies with Kelly. So you would click that video. Yeah, I just put text in. If you go to the spreadsheet and you hit Control F, you can just search by keyword on what sort of tutorial you're looking for. So I searched social media. If I wanted to search like database, or I wanted to search PySync, which I believe, I don't know if that's the title for the video, maybe you just want to search contacts, but you can learn how to create contacts, create your database, and those are really good videos. If you have time, it's rainy out, you just want to sit and watch a couple videos, that's a really good way to learn Command. That's how me and Gabby learned Command. So. There isn't, but that's a good idea. I might need to get with Michael and see if we can schedule a training to show you guys how to use the equipment, the sound equipment and the camera and everything, so that we can start utilizing that resource more to make you guys videos. John? David. Well, I know here that you can schedule a time with Tucker. I don't know what his calendar looks like, but I know here you can schedule a time with Tucker and they put like $50 on your agent bill and he'll take you from setup to editing to everything. So if you wanted to do like an intro video or something like that, you can talk to Tucker about that. Or myself, I've done one of them, but just because he was out. Tucker May. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could do it with your phone too. The green screen, yeah. Well, you don't have to, you can bring your own equipment if you wanted to. We have a camera, but honestly, I think my iPhone XR shoots higher quality video than the camera does. It does have like sound equipment and attachments and stuff, but if you want to use a camera, you can just come find me. I'm, I guess, like the keeper of the camera. And if you wanted to schedule a time for Tucker to shoot your video and everything, that's a good resource too. Naomi. Yeah. And that's, I guess, what the $50 pays for is, you know, the shooting and then the putting together and everything to editing. There is not. I would recommend using Command Designs for that. That'll be easy. No, you're okay. You're okay. Yes, you can use real mailers for that. We're having an issue, and I remember we sat down with that. Real mailers, you can create a postcard in Command Designs and upload it and do the targeting and everything, and they'll print them and mail you a copy to your target audience. However, right now they're having an issue with the address authentication for our office specifically for whatever reason. When you put in 950 Corbindale Road, it just kicks you back to the previous page. Gabby's been speaking with support about it for the last couple days, so hopefully by next week that feature will be back up and running. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Correct. I think it's like $100 for the year. And a lot of it's voiceover stuff, so it'll give you a script. And what I've seen is it's like kind of like a scrolling screen, so you read through the script, and then it's got these nice little graphics that go with it. And there might be a portion that you do a selfie video or have somebody take a video of you for, like the sign off or whatever. But KW Video, I can actually show you really quick. Yeah, so KW Video is a great resource. Here, you can basically, so there are some free templates that you can try, and here's an example of what that looks like. You can watch it first.
Time is something many of us simply don't have enough of. But here are a few tips to give your home a makeover without eating up your weekend or breaking the bank. Try updating your house numbers.
So this kind of B-roll stuff would be consistent on everybody's video, and you would just voice over that part.
Many options to choose from. Take an old piece of furniture.
I believe it is. Let me look.
To a stunning new addition. Also, go ahead and paint your front door.
So you download the app. Hold on. Yeah, so once you go to, you have to log in. So I think I'm logged in now. And so if I wanted to go to this try it button and then create the free video, I would download the script. I have to install something, so I won't do that right now, but I would download the script and I would create the video, and it would give me a step-by-step on what I need to do to create that custom video. This is a good resource because it has some nice B-roll and stuff you can work with, and it'll give you the content, because I think the hardest thing is like figuring out what you're going to say. And so you can browse all the videos. There are a couple of free ones, and then if you want to go with like the fully customizable ones, that's like listings and stuff, you can go into these fully customizable videos, but you have to pay first. I always forget how to get to the payment part. Okay, so let's see. Sorry guys, I don't play around with this as much as I probably should. There are ones for luxury, and Denver is where I came from. So if you go to, okay, so that's how you get to it. If you click on subscribe now to create, so just go to a video that isn't free, click on subscribe now to create, fill out your credit card info, and then you purchase the plan. I think so. I was trying to find the info. Let's see if I can just... log in. Okay, I'll get back to you guys on how much it costs. I'm going to send them an email now. I want to say that's how much it is, but I don't want to lead you guys astray. Do you know how much KW video is? Okay, I'll get back to you guys on that. Any other questions? All right, cool. Thank you guys so much for attending, and I look forward to helping you all grow your business with social media.